Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap Live Order Flow Advanced Analysis webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Risk disclaimer: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. What we do in the webinar is go through the order flow. It supports our educational course, our 4-part educational course, but we want to see it in the live market so we know what we're looking at, how to read it in the live market, and then due to the very objective analysis, we start to anticipate where price might go. Okay, so that's the goal here. And let's jump in here, and we're going to look again at the NASDAQ E-mini today. I want to follow up on yesterday's webinar. And get maybe a little bit of a discussion going here, because we're looking at much higher time frames last day or a couple of days, on Friday and Monday. Okay, we're looking for this test into 7,200 yesterday. Okay, we didn't get it yesterday. Okay, it came up to about 7,160 or so, but why I'm going to go through this here is because using Bookmap on the higher time frames is possible, and a lot of people just they need to know that. They think that it's just for scalping here. You can use it for so much more, and I'll just jump in here and explain. All right, so let's look at our higher time frame to begin with. Okay, so here's an hour chart, and this is what we're looking at. Okay, here's the big move to the downside. Let's see, this was let's see, the 12th. So this was Friday, actually, and we came back up and tested these areas here. And then yesterday, the webinar started, I think, right around, let's see here, 11 o'clock. Yeah, here. Okay, and we saw the move to the upside starting to unfold. All right, so I was looking for this to test up into and go beyond the high of the day, and then up into 7,200. The swing that was on for Friday here, as you can see. And we didn't get it, right? We had another day of consolidation here. We're getting it now. Okay, so, and why did I think that, because, we went back and forth a little bit and some people were questioning me, why were we looking for that? And it was due to what we saw on Friday, okay, and Thursday. In fact, these moves to the downside and just massive absorption. I mean, just massive absorption, one after another. They're just getting filled, staying in the book, right? And and I shouldn't say absorption because, I mean, they absorbed on the way down, but there was still more selling pressure, and they just continued to layer in at the lower levels, and we saw it. We saw it all unfold during the webinars. Okay? And yesterday as well, moving into those areas, and Friday, nice area. And then we drew up this box, I think, yesterday, looking for where they might be buyers again. Okay, we found them down here. We should find them here again. Okay, we're looking at, and I'm going to extrapolate all this to the order flow in the live market, but it's the same concepts here. Okay, and due to what we saw over here, and buyers starting to step in, okay, we're looking for the move and test up into 7,200. Okay, and I'm still looking for it to go beyond that, to be honest. All right, so I'm looking forward to go beyond this cluster here. In fact, I'm looking for the next test to be around here, around 7,230 or so. Okay, this little cluster, there's going to be a cluster of volume here, and that's where I'm looking for this next test to go to. Okay, so I think we're going to trade through 7,200 and then on up into that area. Now, and let's just draw on some trend lines here as well, because we don't know, but it could come all the way back up into this area here, back to 73.50. All right. So anyway, and it's not, it's not some sort of prediction here. It's that we could come up there, but based on what we saw, that's why I'm looking or have a bullish outlook. Okay, these things take a while to develop. Okay, this is position trading, and we're looking and understanding order flow with a position mate trading mindset. Okay, so much higher time frames here, but we saw it, and when we see those kinds of things, we have a more bullish outlook on price to start to go to the upside. Okay, so anyway, let's jump in here and take a look at the order flow. We're just about to test the 7,200. Okay, it's been hitting against it several times here, but look what's going on. We're right back up. We're right back up again. Okay, 203 contracts. Let's see it. I think we're probably going to get it here on this side this time. Nice volume here, some nice volume here. All right, let's see if they support it right here at 96. No, not yet. All right, well, let's start to look at some technical areas here as well. Okay, looking pretty good. Yeah, volume looks pretty good up here. Okay, so we're getting a shakeout here, but we're still within our trend here. Okay, now, all right, so here we go. All right, let's see if we can get this. If the buyers are going to come in, we need to see volume up above 95.5 here. Okay, buy volume, and let's see if we can get that. Not yet, not yet. Okay, we're coming down to the swing down here at 90. Okay, we've broken the trend line. Okay, we can still find buyers in this little pocket right here, because you can see this is where they initiated, or we found those responsive buyers down here, at this area. So we're finding them again now. Okay, let's look at our 95 area here. It's actually, now we can even look at this area here, and if we can get a lot of buy volume here, the next stop 95.5, then looking for even more volume, then I'm looking for this test into, well, the swing high would be first, 98. But I'm still looking for the 7,200 to trade. Okay, the volume looks good. Okay, we should probably find more buyers here at 94. Okay, we do. All right, let's see the swing now up into 7,200. There it is, beautiful. Let's go all the way up to 05. Let's continue on going here. Let's get up to 10. Okay, I'm very happy this happened while we're in the webinar, so you can understand what we're looking at and then see this follow through. That's very, very satisfying. All right, and look at the size of this. Okay, so what are we looking for now? We're up above that level here. We're going to get a retest, probably right back down to it. Okay, but I'm still looking for buyers here. Right, so this was from on up to 07, in fact. Pretty nice move. Now we have to be careful when we get up into breakouts for the day. Strong moves, new ranges being developed up here. The volume looks very strong. The move looks very strong, but we want to be a little careful here because of and I'm still bullish. Okay, and I'm still looking for higher highs, and then I'm looking for that 30 level. Right now, I see high liquidity up here at 25. So maybe we'll get up into 25, okay? But at this point here, now overall, still bullish. So, but we wanna be careful with these moves when they break out into new areas, new highs for the day. And so, because we can come back down and trade down below 7,200 and get lots of sell volume here and then move back into the range here. Okay, now I'm not looking for that right now, but that's a possible scenario that could unfold. All right. Okay, so as I was saying, describing all that, we've got our move here to the upside, okay? And still looking for it to go further. Anyone have any questions on this? Okay, a lot of traders that were in yesterday, it's too bad they're not in today. but this is what we're looking for, and we're getting the follow through today. These kinds of moves on these higher time frames, they take a little while to work out, but we know the position, okay? It's the same thing that we'd be looking for on much lower time frames. Like for example, this breakout, we know the position, we're looking for pullbacks. Okay, it could come back down to 7,200, it didn't. Okay, where did it go to? Well, this is one of the things we look for, is these little areas here on these strong moves where it can potentially pull back to. First one would be right here, to be honest. Okay, nice cluster here of buying, and it did go sideways for a little bit and then it broke out, right? So we'd be looking for buyers to maybe support it there. Okay, they didn't. Okay, so it went down to the next one, which is right here. Okay, and then they did support it here. Okay, this was a strong move, a lot of buying. I mean, look at the massive buying here. Okay, so we're looking for maybe this next level here, and they did. They supported it. Okay, it could have come down into this next cluster here and down to 7,200, even a little lower, maybe 99. Okay, where they really initiated that move to the upside. All right, let's see here. Where are we? Okay, we came up to 13. Okay, it's starting to slow down a little bit, but still looking for the move to the upside. We came back down and tested this little range swing here, but we're back up above. Not seeing a lot of buying up here, so we'll get probably a pullback now. Okay, and low volume node here, so maybe a pullback to that area, and maybe we'll find more buyers right around 08 or so, 07.5. You can see them already coming in at that area there at 08. Okay, and let's see the buyers hit it again, or lift the offer right here, looking for it. Pulling here at 14, looking for 16 then. What's important here is that you guys understand the analysis. So please ask questions. It's not about calling the market. It's about what we look at and what we understand due to the objective analysis. Then we anticipate that move. It's always good to get the follow through in such a clean way here. It's just really good for the demo. Okay, and it helps us understand the order flow much better. Okay, so that's what this is about here. So please ask questions if you want more insight. Okay, because we're looking for this to continue to the upside, and it's playing out just beautifully here. Okay, so 20 is our next level. Just because there's high liquidity there is 20. Our biggest level was 25 here. I was actually looking for about 30, right? But I don't see much up there, so I'm looking for 25 instead. Okay, so the liquidity is telling me where to take profit. All right, let me see if I can find an example of what we saw on that hour chart, and then use the same analysis here on much smaller or lower time frames. And that might not be so easy here. Because first off, we need to see a lot of absorption on the way down. I guess you can say, I mean, here's some moves down into these areas here. We are finding buyers already. They're already testing some of these highs up here. In the trend to the downside, it just continues to, usually don't get such a big pullback like that. But look at this area down here. Okay? They transacted. They traded right into it and transacted. Okay? And we already know that there's buyers over here as well. Right? And they didn't take it any lower though into these areas here. Okay? High liquidity down here. Right? So let's zoom a little bit more, because if they're not going to take it down lower, then you know, what we've got is this kind of sideways market at the moment in this area here, because they're not testing into this 71.45 liquidity. Right? So what we're looking for at this point is a few different things. At this point, we're looking for either the buyers are going to start to chase on the bid. They're going to bid up at higher levels, and you can see that's what they did here. Okay, but they never got tested either. They never got filled. Okay, so what we're going to find instead then is the aggressor is just going to show up, and they're going to move price. Okay, and that's what happened over here. Now it took several rotations here. Okay, all of these rotations like this, and then the buyers start to step in. This right here, okay, this whole thing right here is really similar to this move to the downside, sideways action, and then now we're looking for the breakout. Okay, so this is an hour chart. This is like a, you know, like a week's worth of data here. Okay, and this here instead is like 5 minutes worth of data. All right. So anyway, don't want to belabor the point here, but you know, we'll see the same things again and again here, and that's what we're looking for. And it's really funny that you know why I was so adamant about this move to the upside, and I was looking for it yesterday, and it just didn't. It consolidated for the day, right? It didn't happen yesterday. It did another few rotations is what it did, right, on the higher time frame. Okay, and it's following through today. All right. So anyway, the what was I going to say? The move to the upside here. Oh, the move to the downside that we saw on Friday and Thursday, and noting all of those areas getting filled. Now, this has happened so many times when you know, we're in the webinar and you know, we see this move to the downside, and we keep on thinking, well, if they're gonna, you know, get filled in these areas on the way down, we're looking for the snapback, right? We're looking for the at some point there's just going to be a lack of selling. Buyers are going to step in and they're going to move it to the upside. That never occurred during those webinars, and it's always kind of befuddling because we anticipate that based on what we see. And that all these guys, you know, being buyers at lower and lower levels, but there's just still more selling pressure. The point is it just didn't make too much sense. It didn't have too much logic behind it. Why is it continuing to go lower when we know that all these buyers are stepping in? And we're not finding the aggressor on the other side, the buyers that step in and hit the market buy button, right? Well, this is why, is because this is a multi-day position move. And that's why I was, you know, rather adamant yesterday and today for the move back up to the upside. All right, so anyway, in fact, this could go, it's possible. There's a, you know, possibility and scenario here that this can move all the way back up to 7,300. All right, this might be a multi-day move to the upside. Okay, we have earnings as well. You know, there's going to be all sorts of things that happen along the way. That's the kind of risk that you take with the higher time frame stuff. You know, it can turn on a dime. Let's say there's some threat of war, or, you know, trade or something. Then this whole thing is going to be a different picture. But technically, this is the picture right now, and it is playing out nicely. Okay, so looking for this move up and see what happens up around 30, and we're almost there. We're almost there. That was the original target. And let's check it out. Okay, well, our 25 level is because that's where the liquidity was. And we're trading right into it right now, right? 165 up there, contracts. And here's the breakout, nice little breakout up above 20, as you can see, traded into that high liquidity. And the move is strong. I mean, it's about 3 points, 20 to 23. So you can see that it's not as strong as it was from that initial breakout of 7,200. But it's still, you know, and we got another retest, so it actually did 5 altogether, but it pulled back a bit here. But you can see I mean, it's still bullish to the upside, but it's slowing down. Boy, actually, I should have kept that line in there. For those of you like looking at technical analysis, like a pitchfork or something, you know, you'd be looking for this as being support, right? I'm not much of a pitchfork trader, but you know, I understand the concepts there. I just like drawing in the trend lines and stop right there. Just make it simple. But you know, instead of like deviations, etc., I'm just looking for support and resistance. And then just look at the order flow. The order flow will tell us. I mean, look at how they're, you know, it's interesting. Like if you are a pitchfork trader, for example, that's fine. That's great. Where's the liquidity though? I mean, look at them lining up down here between, you know, 11 and 12. Okay. So, but it makes also sense on so many other levels. Looking at this cluster here and where they initiated this kind of breakout to the upside here at 13 on up into 19. Right. So yeah, maybe you'd want to be a buyer back down there again. All right, let's see the breakout here. Let's see if looks like we're about to test into 25. And let's see if they got enough, still enough. Let's see how these guys behave at 25 as well. Yeah, this is really where we need to see it right here at 23. There we go. All right, looks like they're gonna do it. They're staying in the book though. So one tick away. It's looking thinner up here, to be honest. You know, I mean, we see lots of buy volume in these little areas here. It's not the greatest up here, and we just had a retest, and it's not the greatest as well, but it's still trading more up here. So you know, we just might get a few more rotations here, and then really start to build up here. Okay, well, here comes the next rotation, and let's see, right? It's looking kind of thin at the moment, you know, but you know, they just may step in. Right, that's one scenario. The other scenario is they don't at all. And you know what? That's what's going to happen here is those sellers are going to hit that bid pretty hard, bring it right back down into like 16 or so. But here they go. They're testing into 25. And look at it. We just don't see it yet, right? There they go. That's a little more volume there, but absorbed. Now that was completely absorbed. Okay, now we're down to 108 contracts, okay, where it was like 155 or even 170 up here. Boy, I'm looking for sellers actually hit the bid. It's looking weak on that buy side. Yeah, they're coming in now. Yeah, looking for maybe down to the swing here at around 16. Okay, maybe down to like yeah, around 20 or so. as well. There's a low volume node kind of there as well. And when I speak of low volume nodes, again, this is an order flow phenomena. It's not just because there's a low volume node that, it's because that we broke out of an area really quickly and then we traded and accepted above an area. Okay? So when it comes back down to where it didn't trade much, okay, and it accepted above that area, you'd be looking for sellers not to show up and for buyers to step in because it's a deal. Okay? That's what's going on. And now we just kind of spiked below it and spiked up above it. So it's a little bit of a, kind of stop run type of thing, or, just below it, and then buyers do step in on the other side here, which is nice because these guys will get squeezed if we get more buying up above here, which adds the fuel to the fire to test into 25. Okay, now it's both sides here at the moment, a little bit of selling, a little bit of buying up here. I like the buying up here though. Let's just see if we can get a little higher here. Yeah, it makes sense, this test to 18 here. But liquidity's down here at 16. All right, any questions on this move? And understanding, like we saw the volume here, but it, looking at it, just look at it, look at these kind of spikes, and it just doesn't look the same as what we saw before. Now they could have just taken it all and traded through, but it just didn't have the same kind of look and feel to it up here as some of these other areas where you just see massive buying all the way through and then massive buying again. And down here, I mean, it just there is a distinction. It's thinner up in these little areas here, kind of retesting, right? So we're kind of we were looking for if they're not going to show up, then the sellers were, and we were looking for this counter trend move here, and then where it might go, okay, based on the liquidity. Okay, we liked 20, I mean, because of a low volume node, but it was rather meaningless, as you can see. And they pulled the liquidity here at 20. All right, okay, and we did like this little cluster here. So let's see if the buyers can build off of it. They already are. You can see it. Let's get our test into 25 now. Okay, you can understand why we're coming up and retesting these areas. We found the buyers over here, sellers here, buyers here though, and explored a little bit lower, not quite to 16, to 17, and then they're starting to step back in. There's our move. Yeah, to be honest, I still don't really like it much. To be honest, very, very quick move. It did it. We see the volume up here, but we're already right back down. So I don't know, I'm kind of more cautious now on this. I mean, it's doing it, but let's take a look at our higher time frames, right? This is where we saw see this consolidation over here, and the sellers initiated the move to the downside over here. Okay, that was on the 10th, right? On the 10th of October. And that's where, there were sellers. Okay, we're just coming into that area right now. So, I anticipate some profit taking. I anticipate there to be some sellers up here as well and reposition themselves. Now, that said, what if we get just, tons of buying up here. Okay, well then it's going to trade through this area and continue to the upside. And I don't know. It doesn't look as clear as that break to 72 did to me. Okay, I'm seeing it kind of being thinner up in some of these areas here. Okay? And it's playing out that way. I mean, we're seeing the pullbacks are deeper, and there's less trading up in these areas here. You can even look at your profiles as well. And that said, buyers continue to rotate back in, coming back up into these areas. I mean, and overall, we are still bullish overall. Okay, just seeing it being a little thinner, and seeing the breakouts not being quite as strong. Oh, we have not seen a big change in the order flow yet. So no questions, huh? Really, I'm kind of shocked. I was anticipating some questions on this move here to the upside. Because it always is a little contentious when we go through order flow on these much higher time frames like this, and understanding these moves as we did into these areas. And then then yesterday, like I said, I was looking for it, and it didn't play out. Okay, it consolidated, but we did find buyers back down into this level, into this zone here, and then today we're getting the follow through. Daniel, only second day with Bookmap, getting back into it slowly. Okay, yeah, no problem. Well, ask questions, Daniel. I'm coming much more advanced and a much higher time frame. A lot of traders have requested this, much higher time frame analysis, and we're going through it, right? And we're just seeing a great example of it, and still looking for 30 now, right? And that was our original level, but I was fine with just 25. Okay. And we didn't see liquidity up there at 30. So 25 was fine with me. I would probably be out and done for the day, to be honest. But still looking for, looking for follow through, looking for buyers to step in. No, I'm not really looking at the ES. The reason that, a few things, Daniel, just so you know. We're looking at the NASDAQ mostly. There was a time period, several months ago now, where the ES was just horrible. Like the price action was just horrible. It was within like a 5 tick range for the day, or something like that, and just seeing like just a few ticks back and forth. We weren't getting much out of it, so we moved over to something a little more volatile, and pretty good compromise seemed to be the NASDAQ. Okay, especially with tech being so hot with all the FANG stocks, etc. So we stuck with the NASDAQ. The follow through was so much better. Instead of getting, I mean, it's just not as thick as a market, right? So the ES would rotate back and forth several times, where the NASDAQ might do it, once or twice, but you usually get the follow through pretty quickly. And that worked out so much better for the demos, to see that follow through quickly, right? Because that's what we are anticipating, and instead of waiting, we'll just get we'll get the result. That said, though, that now the ES is starting to move pretty well. I was even considering covering it today. The reason I didn't was because we've been covering this NASDAQ here on this much higher time frame, looking for this move to unfold, right? And this is what we were looking for yesterday. It's happening today. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, just 1 tick shy of 30. Okay, still looking for it. Let's see, where else can we look here? I mean, there's liquidity coming in at 72.50 up here. Which is pretty typical. Anyway, another thing to consider, with some of these, this more higher time frame analysis, like multi-day analysis here, and then extrapolating that into the order flow for the day here. A lot of those moves, it's hard to get involved several times in the order flow. Now today is not so bad, but I'm mentioning this because we're kind of grinding higher right now, and you always kind of feel like, well, I don't want to buy it, here we're too high. But on the overall picture, we know that we're looking for these higher highs here, and just I know the shakeouts it's tough, but the grind is tough to get involved in, but it can be so profitable to get into that grind to the upside, and just let it run. I mean, that they're going to be pulling and looking for a higher liquidity, pulling at some levels and looking for higher and higher highs. And there's just not a lot of selling, so it just continues to grind in kind of a low, kind of counter trend trade swing back, and not allowing you to get into it, or I don't know. I find it more challenging, but then looking for that continuation, to the upside to just grind higher. So just jump in on some of those is some pretty good advice, I think, and just and try to manage your trade really, really carefully until you start to gain some profits on that. Oh, Michael, yeah, the ES is moving much better. I agree with you. I think we can start to look at that. Like I said, the only reason that I'm not is because of this higher time frame coverage we've been looking at and just seeing the nice follow through. Yeah. No, we will. Once that starts moving better, we'll look at it. In fact, we can jump in there and look at it for a few minutes now. We are seeing a change here in the order flow now. Okay, so 30 was our level, right? And it's kind of interesting that we just one tick away from it, and we are starting to see sellers come in. Okay, see the distinction, right? See the sellers here. See where are they selling? They're selling down below the swing here. Okay, we're still bullish. We broke this trend line here, but the overall swing is still intact, and in fact, they're still ready to buy here at 72.16. Okay, so this is more of kind of a shakeout here, looks like, or just maybe some profit taking, and maybe they'll reignite this to the upside. Okay, but anyway, you can see the distinction, and we were getting kind of leery up in some of these areas here. It was still, we see the clusters, it's still doing it. So we're looking for higher highs. It just didn't look as clear. All right. Anyway, point made. Let's see if the sellers jump in here at 23. We see look at this one player here, lowering liquidity. Okay, so yeah, he wants to be a seller. Okay, this could be chasing. The guy's he's trying to get out of his position. Or maybe he's trying to kind of spoof into, this 18 to 16 levels down here. Anyway, his intent to trade is we don't know yet. I mean, we know that he's aggressive, but see how he's starting to pull here. So that makes me think that because he's starting to pull here, makes me feel that he's not trying to get out of a trade. He's trying to get it down into an area down here, so that he can be a buyer at these levels. Okay, just based on his intent to trade at these levels. See how he's more aggressive down here, but he's pulling. Now the nice thing is like these aggressive buyers here, you know, if some of these algos are reading this and they're thinking, well, okay, well, you know, they looking for these levels here, but I'm just going to take it right now by the aggressor and then start to move it. And this guy would miss his opportunity. He would not get involved. And all sorts of different market players and participants here. Anyway, let's jump over to that ES here and see what's going on. Yeah, this is what I mean by that grind here to the upside. You know, it offers you actually some places to get in, like here. This would be a little more complex, but anyway. Nice move here. I mean, into high liquidity, it sells off. But once it goes back above it, look at the beautiful retest here at 27.75. Okay, and you see liquidity here as well. They want to be buyers here. Great stuff. I don't know, maybe looking for 2,800, the figure up here, you know, for overall on the S&P. Like I said, I haven't really looked at the S&P on the higher time frames. So you know, I'm just looking at these levels of liquidity. We're already into 93, which is they've been in the book since the cash open right here. But you know, the next level would be 2,800. All right, guys. Any more questions? Last call here. I need to leave a little bit early today, so we usually go about you know, 45 minutes to an hour. We've already gone over 45 minutes, but you know, let me know now. So I need to leave here in just a few more minutes. And first off, I have a question to you. Like, have you found the last few days helpful? Do you want to see more of that? Or do you guys want to really zoom into just you know, these kind of lower time frames and see those examples? Or, you know, do you want to see both or all? And your input here is what I'm gonna cover. I mean, this is your guys' room here. Okay. All right. Well, no feedback on that. All is good. Okay. Bigger time frame, bigger picture helps more than smaller time frames. Huh. Okay. And Henning, you want to see the lower time frame. All right. Well, Henning, I haven't seen you in here before, so I imagine you're new. It is rare that we go through such large time frames as this. Like, we don't do that very often, but we just saw some really good stuff, so wanted to cover it and meet that demand for that much higher time frame. Okay, we're looking at as many examples as we can of order flow phenomena, which gives us an advantage and insight. Okay, from lower time frame on up to the higher time frame. In this case, we saw it on the much higher time frame. Yeah, okay, so yesterday was your first day. All right, yeah, no problem. Okay, Daniel, you like the higher time frame? All right. Okay, well, yeah, well, it's, you know, there's one thing here. Dave, okay, let's see what you have to say here. Because we work hard. UK, that, okay, yeah, whatever we can cover. Well, that's kind of the approach, Dave, is like, we to cover it all, because the same phenomena you're going to see again and again. It's just different kind of variations of it, but from very, very low time frame to high time frame stuff. Okay? So that's what the one drawback about covering the higher time frame stuff is it just doesn't happen as frequently. And that's why in this webinar we usually go through as much as we can, and therefore we're covering lower time frame stuff. Okay, so that's really what the case is, to be honest. Henning, you're still having some problems. Well, reach out to support. They should be able to help you there, and get you set up. Oh, well, you have the free version then, one instrument at a time, right? So, well, have you subscribed? Like, are you a paying customer? Okay. No, oh, you updated to Global Plus. Okay. Yeah, reach out to support on that. They'll help you and get you up and running. I think what I would recommend this, try this, and then I gotta go. Go up to connections up here and see the you probably have GDAX and this DX feed. Deselect both of these, okay? And then come back up again and go to configure, and then make your connection configuration, okay, for whatever it is. Like, if you're looking at Rhythmic, for example, add your connection, add, the platform as Rhythmic, and then, the name, and then input your credentials. A lot of times I've seen it hung up because you came from the free and then you upgraded, and still it's kind of reading the free connections. So in fact, you may even want to deselect them, go to configure, and then just delete them, okay? And then add your real connection. All right, try that. And then I think you'll probably be up and running. So try that before you reach out to support, okay? All right, guys, I gotta go. Everyone have a good day, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay, all right, take care. Yeah, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.